friends, I feel very privileged to be present here on such a wonderful occasion. The center that is being inaugurated today has in fact already been working under the leadership of Professor Wang Ganggu within this distinguished Institute of Southeast Asian Studies directed by Ambassador Kisan. It's a center which will carry forward the work that has already begun in a very distinguished way in an academic setting of remarkable excellence. And I had the opportunity of visiting the Institute many times, seeing how it's been growing and becoming even richer. And what we are inaugurating today is in fact already in existence in some form. It's clear that the baby that is being born is hitting the ground running. It's not only that the Nalanda-Sriwijaya Center is being born with a silver spoon in its mouth, but I seem to see that the baby has already taken the spoon off its mouth and making vigorous use of it. And Wang Ganggu and Kesavapani are running around everywhere in keeping up with this active newborn. The tradition that the new center carries forward is not only that of this distinguished institute, but also of other centers of academic excellence in world history. Nalanda University was born in the 5th century in what is now Bihar in India, became a globally unparalleled center of higher education which attracted students from all over Asia. True to the best Buddhist tradition, it offered education not only on the classics of Buddhism, but also on other subjects, varying from languages and grammar to medicine and mathematics. At its peak, Nalanda had 10,000 students. It ceased to exist in the 12th century, almost exactly when the oldest university in Britain, Oxford, was being established. Sriwijaya too had a very distinguished record of academic excellence, located in an empire based in Sumatra. If the name Sriwijaya means in Sanskrit great or beautiful victory, it had earned the reputation that justified that praise, not just because of its imperial prowess, great as it was, but also for its academic achievements. Nalanda and Sriwijaya were not only great centers of learning, they were also part of a huge global ecumeny which inspired and informed a great many scholars in different countries. Yi Jing, a distinguished Chinese scholar who went to Nalanda in 675 AD to study Buddhism as well as medicine and to collect Sanskrit documents, went via Sriwijaya, where in fact he spent nearly a year and learned his Sanskrit in a systematic way. From his book on his experiences abroad, completed in 691, we not only learn a great deal about Nalanda and India and Sriwijaya and Sumatra and this whole region, but also about the state of medicine and healthcare in India and China, seen in a comparative perspective, to which he devoted 3 chapters of his book. I'm quite involved in the public health and medicine efforts in Harvard, and it's interesting that this is in fact the very first book in the world of comparative medicine and comparative public health care written in the 7th century. It is that wonderful tradition of Pan-Asian learning that is being recognized, pursued and advanced in the new center here. It's particularly fitting that this is happening in Singapore, not only because Singapore itself combines the heritage of different sources of Asian culture and knowledge. This was beautifully brought out in the parade on the National Day on the 9th of August, which I so much enjoyed watching. It was a wonderful evening. But also because under visionary leadership Singapore has rapidly become the prime mover of Pan-Asian institution, intellectual and social collaboration in the world today. It's an occasion for me to express my admiration for the work that Minister Giorgio in particular has been doing, which is great for Singapore and marvelous for Asia and for the world. I know that in this work, Giorgio is ably assisted by Balaji Sadasivan, and I'm very happy to see both of them here joining us in this celebration. The old Nalanda University is being revived now with a truly Pan-Asian initiative led by the East Asia Summit. In the mentor committee or mentor group that is helping to plan the development of this university, a university that is both very new and extremely old, there are 5 members present today, including, of course, Giorgio himself. Without him, I think the mentor group would not have functioned. Professor Wang Gangbu, Professor Surata Bose, and Professor Amartya Sen, in addition to myself. The basic strategy of restarting the new university has now been worked out, and we are hoping that the East Asia Summit will give the initiative the nod it needs in its next meeting to start for us to be able to start doing things that fulfill the vision behind this splendidly constructive move. Once the East Asia Summit gives its blessing, I expect there will be an act of the Indian Parliament very soon. After that, the university will start functioning as soon as the physical infrastructure is set up in the land that has already been located and obtained quite close to the old Nalanda University, and as soon as the new faculty begins to join Nalanda to welcome students. The Nalanda-Sriwijaya Center will be, in fact, its first ally abroad, and we anticipate very strong collaboration between these 2 institutions. The new university will not only be international, it will be also secular and not confined to religious education only, not to mention not restricted to education in one religion. That is indeed a part of the Nalanda tradition, which was in its time a Buddhist university, but also a state-of-the-art academic center with Pan-Asian participation. When in the 7th century, Yuan Fang, a remarkably distinguished Chinese scholar, was leaving India and Nalanda after years of being at the university, he explained to his former teachers and colleagues who were pressing him to stay on, that the knowledge and understanding a person acquires must give him or her an obligation to share them with others and to work for global cooperation. Who would want to share enlightenment alone? Zhuangdang asked rhetorically. There is a great vision underlying that remark, that rhetorical question, which gave distinction and reach to the centers of learning in Nalanda and Sriwijaya. That vision will also empower and enrich the future work of the newly inaugurated Nalanda-Sriwijaya Center. I feel very lucky to be here today in your company, and I'm delighted that so distinguished people are here and joining us, celebrating the official birth of a center with wonderful promise and prospect. The world needs initiatives like this that unite people and knowledge and understanding and thought across the borders in our very divided planet. Let me invite you all to join me in cheering the new center and in congratulating those who have been working so hard in setting it up here. Thank you very much.